Okay guys, I'm doing a diagnostic on a 2008 Ford Mustang. The problem is it's going into limp mode. I'll be driving along, all of a sudden, boom, just goes into limp mode. And the throttle has no actuation at all. You can step on a throttle, it doesn't do anything. So when it goes in limp mode, you have no power at all. You have to coast to the side of the road, shut it off, start it again. So I checked the codes, and the codes came up for throttle body wide open, throttle body closed all the way. So with the drive-by-wire that is on a 2008 Mustang, there's two different sensors for throttle position. There's one in the servo motor, and then there's one at the other end of the throttle body. It's your regular looking throttle position sensor. So what I did was I drove the car and I recorded all these data points. Electronic throttle control actual, desired throttle control, throttle position sensor 1 and 2. And it's definitely in the throttle position sensor. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to graph these. These are the two sensors, throttle position sensors. I'm going to graph that up. This is a recording of the data from when I was driving it. I'm going to graph those out. And this is the playback bar here, so you can see I let it idle for a long time because it was going to limp mode, just idling sometimes too. So here's where I started driving it, and one throttle position sensor, when you step on the gas, the voltage goes up, as you can see here, voltage going up to 4.5. So that was from idle here, it's under 1 volt. And then as you accelerate, if you go wide open, it's about 4.5 volts, which is right there. So that went wide open for a little while there, and goes on like that. I'll play back a little bit of it, speed this up. I can play back, I can increase the playback speed on here. It looks like you can also combine the two together in a graph. Now gets to some driving portion here, and you can see one sensor, the voltage goes up, and the other sensor, I think this is the blue one is sensor number 1, and the orange trace is sensor number 2. And you can see the voltage will raise on one, and it goes exactly the opposite of the other. Then all of a sudden, right here, both of them drop to 0, right there, at that point. So what I can do is do frame playback. I'll back this up 1 frame at a time. And you can see there's obviously a problem. So up here in this area, the voltage is high on this sensor and low on that one, just the opposite of each other. So here, it should have been low on one and high on the other, and it dropped down. The blue sensor, sensor number 1, because it looks like if it was steady on the throttle here, and then all of a sudden it dropped down to 0. Most likely something happened there. But anyway, that's how to trace a throttle position sensor problem. If you have a diagnostic tablet like this and you can graph the sensors out, you can trace them, and that's exactly where the problem happened when I was recording it, right there. So I'm going to go get the throttle position sensor and place that. Okay, so I got throttle position sensor B circuit problem, when I disconnected this sensor here. This is the external throttle position sensor, and then there's that other one in here on the servo motor. So they're calling that one B. So I'm going to say that's sensor 2. I'm going to say this is sensor 1, which is the one that has the problem. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a new throttle body motor, unless we can just get the cover with the sensor in it. We're going to get a Ford one. This is in the Ford part here. This is a Ford Motorcraft part, so most likely this is the problem here. It's an aftermarket part, probably a cheaper part. I'll let you know how it works out.